with you.
You came back. Look at this. Now, I was looking in the refrigerator and thinking about what I can make, right? And then I realized that I haven't made an orange chicken for you guys yet, right? So we're doing it today, okay? I hope you enjoy the recipe. It's delicious. Look at this. On some rice. Is this not good? Yeah. Watch how I do this. Hey, this is Shrashira. That is the best elevator music I ever heard. Now, before we get too far ahead of ourselves here, I need to get some of this skin or rind or zest from the orange. And I'm also going to need the orange juice. So I'm going to take care of that right now. Now, what I'm going to be using is this julienne peeler. It's like a potato peeler, but as you see, when I go across, see what it does? It makes these little fine slices, right? That's what I want. These little nice fine slices. Okay, so I'm going to do this a few times. You know, I don't need too much of it. I don't need as much as I would need if I was doing like lemon zest. See how this is breaking up? See that? That's what you want. That's why this little tool is so important. Look at that. See how quick I was able to do that? And I want all of it. I want every piece I got off of there. Now, I'm not going to do the whole orange, even though I just said I need all of it. I'm not doing the whole orange. But I am going to do enough to make it nice and flavorful. Right? Look at that. Look at that. See that? Look, 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 look. Look. Can you see that okay? Look at that. Now let's get to the juice. Now we're going to get this juice. Look at this. Look at this right here. We're going to get the juice from this orange. Cut this orange in half. So we can get this juice. And you just press it and turn it. And we'll see if we have enough juice. We don't need much for this actually. But we'll see how much we get. If we have to use another orange, we will. No worries. So you just twist and turn, same time. See what we got. Yeah, keep it moving. Twist and turn. Look at it, it just pits it out, just guts it out. See that? And get the other side. Okay, let's see what we got. See what we're working with. Oh yeah, that's all we need. So I'm gonna pour this into a container and then we'll get to the ingredient showcase. Now for our showcase, we have a teaspoon of salt, about a half a teaspoon of black pepper, half a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. We have about a tablespoon or so of sliced ginger. That's been julienne, very good. How about 2 tablespoons of julienne orange peel. Here we have about 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, 3 tablespoons of white vinegar, 2 tablespoons of just white sugar. I mean, you can use brown sugar if you want, but I'm using white sugar. Tablespoon and a half of garlic. Here we have about 1/3 of a cup of chicken broth and an additional 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. because the chicken broth and the cornstarch we're going to make a slurry with later. Okay, and we have here a cup of water, just plain water. We have a half a cup of cornstarch right here, 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour. Here we have about roughly a third of a cup or so of orange juice, that we just extracted from the orange. And we have about a 1/4 cup of green onions that have sliced up scallions, right, for garnish at the end. We have 3 eggs. You can let those get to room temperature, right? And then we have a chicken breast. Now, we've chopped the chicken breast up into roughly inch and a half pieces, and we have about 2 pounds here. Now, traditionally, you use chicken thighs, right? But the peanut gallery, they like chicken breast better, so I use chicken breast. That's just the way they've always eaten it, so there we go. All right, so let's get the fryer going, and when the fryer gets heated up, we'll combine the batter. Yeah, and I almost forgot, right here, right? Oil, 3 tablespoons of oil. We need that for the batter too. Now I'm using canola oil. You can use vegetable oil if you want, which is fine. I'm just using canola oil. All right, now let's finish waiting on the fryer. First thing we're gonna do is crack our eggs, get this batter going. And I generally crack the eggs first, and I'll tell you why here in a little bit. Let's get those in, my whisk. Okay, now to that, I'm going to add the oil. The oil in there. Whisk that up. About half of the cornstarch to begin. Whisk that. And about half our water. Whisk. The remaining cornstarch goes in. Whisk it. Add half our flour. More flour. A little more of our water. Now you notice I'm not adding all the flour or all the cornstarch in at one time. You want to do it in sections or parts, so you can have more control over your batter. A little more water. Make sure you get those sides. Okay, now I add the rest of the water. And whisk it up. Now we want to add our chicken to it. Add the chicken carefully. Don't want to splash. Make sure it's coated nicely. And now we're going to let this sit. Since we're going to be frying it here pretty soon, we're going to let it sit for about 15 minutes. Now, if you were doing this ahead of time, you could do this up to like an hour, 2 hours ahead of time. Just cover it, put it in the refrigerator. But what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cover it, and I'm just going to leave it on the counter here for about 15 minutes, maybe 20. And then we're going to fry them up. Now, the reason that I crack my eggs first most times, or I crack them in a separate container, I'm old school, right? You don't have to worry about what I worry about so much nowadays, but in the past, sometimes you would crack an egg and it would be a rotten egg, right? Or it would be a blood egg, right? Or just a jacked up egg altogether. So you don't want to put your ingredients in a bowl and then crack that nasty egg in it. Now you've ruined everything. So get in the practice of either cracking your eggs first in the container, or crack your eggs in a separate container, separate from your dry or your wet product, so that way you can check to see if it's a good egg. Also, you can check to make sure there are no shells in it ahead of time. Just food for thought. So it's time to add the chicken. Normally I would use a skewer to put these in, but I'm just going to use a fork. Right, 350 degrees. I'm going to put these guys in. I'm going to cook them for roughly 4.5 to 5 minutes. You know, the proper way to do this is actually to use bamboo skewers, but I really don't got time for that today, so I'm doing it this way. Just be careful not to splash yourself. Oh, like that. Don't do that. You know, my skin's kind of tough, but you still want to be careful. I'm going to add a few more, and we'll let these cook for 5 minutes. Let's take these guys out. Take this batch out. Look at that. Is that not nice? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Now you don't need to see me do the rest of them, so I'm going to do the rest of these. And next time you see me, we'll start getting ready to make the sauce. So we're getting ready to make the sauce. Okay, what I want you to understand, the first thing I'm going to do is add the oil and then the crushed red pepper flakes. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I want the oil to be infused with the spiciness, right? So that way it gets all over the sauce. Versus adding the red pepper flakes later, and then sometimes you may get a bite with no heat, sometimes you get a bite with a little bit of heat, sometimes you get a bite with a lot of heat. So I want even heat distribution. So I'm going to infuse the oil first, then I'm going to add the garlic and the ginger and so forth from there. Stay with me. So the wok is heating up. I'm going to add some oil, a couple tablespoons. It'll be fine. You can start to see the smoke kind of wafting there. That's what you want. Don't be nervous about it. Add our crushed red pepper flakes. Little mix. And we want to fry this for about 30 seconds before we add anything else to it. Get that nice and infused. Now let's add our garlic. Add our ginger. Yep, now they get nice and fragrant. Add our sugar. Add our vinegar. Add our orange juice. Add our orange peel. All that in there. Let this come to a simmer. Add our soy sauce in. Salt. Pepper. Let this simmer a bit. Let this simmer for a couple minutes, maybe like 2 minutes, and we'll be right back. Now at this point, I've taken the chicken broth and the extra cornstarch that I put in this container, and we're shaking it up just to mix it up, and we're going to add it to this. Add this slurry. It's going to make it nice and thick, a little shiny, and then we're going to add our chicken. So let's get this in here. In. Stir it up. Now, as soon as it starts to come to a good simmer, it's time to add the chicken. You can already see it starting to thicken up. See that? That's what we want. Look at that. Let me give you a deep spoon. Can you see how thick that is? Now we're going to add the chicken to it. Chicken that we fried, right in. Yep, all of it. And you mix. Make sure everything's coated evenly. Grab some tasting chopsticks. I want to taste some of this sauce. Oh yeah, that's good. All right, let's get this guy plated up. Now let me build these plates. Now the Mama Shra was kind enough to make some rice here for us, so I'm gonna put some rice, put on top of the rice here for this guy. Yeah. And we're gonna garnish it. Some scallions. Very nice. Look at that. Is that not camera ready or what? Oh, here we go. Classic orange chicken. Yeah. Give a shout out to the Golden Walk. Been a lot of years since I worked there, but hey, I still remember some stuff. So here we go. It's on top of some rice. Got your chopsticks there. If you like this, hey, try the recipe out yourself. I hope you enjoy it. Hey, if you're not already part of the Peanut Gallery, definitely subscribe. Right? Let me know how you think about. Let me know what you think about this. Right? I can hardly talk. My mouth is all salivating. You know, that being said, this Shrashira, hey, I'm out because I'm getting ready to eat.